Giro was founded by an industrial designer who was also a bike racer. We're a design company, but not just design for design's sake. It's design inspired by a particular rider or user or person. We spent a lot of time listening to our team of professional athletes. They're changing the definition of what's possible in their sports. So they're really the perfect people to talk to look for ideas.
We have this process, this design process that we've done for years with Giro, and it works. I'm Hilgard Muller. I'm the industrial design manager at Giro. I've been here almost 13 years. We want to make sure that we factor that in because that'll drive the aesthetic.
Okay.
Industrial design, it's a really misleading title. It sounds like I should be designing factories, but really it's what captures a consumer's attention when they walk into a store and they see a product. It's that emotional response. The first thing that anybody sees when they look at a product is that something I would wear? Do they like the color? Do they like the aesthetic of it? The quality of it and the weight of it and the textures and just the overall feel of the product. And those are the types of things that you need to pay attention to as a designer because that's what people are going to be doing every day when they're looking at the product.
The way we bring a sunglass to life is a multi-step process.
Whenever we start a project, typically we start with a lot of two-dimensional work, just sketch after sketch after sketch, looking for some kind of a theme. Once we get the theme kind of established throughout our sketching, we'll go back into our shop and start sculpting just a hand model. It's a model that you can try on, just check it, see how it looks. We'll walk this around the building and we'll see what kind of response we get from people. If we get a negative response, we kind of isolate why, what are they reacting to? If it's the dip in the middle, is that something that makes them look bug-eyed? We'll refine it, we'll go back again, and we'll evaluate it and ask the same people. It's like, well, what do you think?
He'll sketch a little bit, but mostly he wants to bring it to life with his hands. And he does that better than anyone I've ever met before.
Once we've kind of nailed that down, we can take this into the computer. We do what's called a white light scan, and it's basically this space-age looking, looks like a laser tag gun. And they walk around the object, encompass the entire shape, and it spits out a file. We can start editing and manipulating really subtle changes. That's where we get into the real detail of it. Make sure that we have the fit correct. Make sure that we've got the lens geometry correct.
CAD, or computer-aided design, is common in most product design companies' portfolio of tools. Many products now are designed from the very beginning in CAD. From the first idea, they're being sculpted on the screen and not by hand. And that can work in some product categories, but it isn't the way Giro does things. We use CAD as the middle part of our process.
We've got a CAD model now. It's dimensionally it's correct, it's symmetrical, it's got critical geometry, it has hinge breaks, it can accommodate the correct lens. All that stuff is incorporated into this model. From there, what we'll do is a three-dimensional print. It's like printing a Word document. You're literally hitting print, and it goes to a machine. And every time the printer makes a pass, it generates a layer. If there's frame in that area, it will leave the black material. If there's no frame in there, it will leave the white material, which we call a support material. So it makes thousands of passes. I guess it'll take about 6 hours to print a pair of glasses. Pull it out of the machine, and then you just literally break the support off. And then once you finish picking it away, you got a pair of glasses. And then we can go ahead and make a nice clean model, pop some lenses in it, put them on, check the fit.
Give it to a rider or many riders, go out and do the test.
If the fit isn't optimum, then go back in the computer and make the necessary changes.
Tweaked, modeled, tested, and we may do that 20 times on a sunglass frame before we're satisfied.
There's a lot of places that hand off just here's a sketch, give me a pair of glasses. They wait 6 months, they get a pair of glasses back. Might or might not look like the sketch. because they didn't factor in all the constraints. We're factoring all the constraints. We're designing it in-house. We're evaluating it in-house. We're looking at the models. We're touching the models. We're putting the models on. We're making 0.5 millimeter adjustments to get the thing just that extra 5%.
We can hand off to our final manufacturing vendors and say, build this. And we know for sure what we're going to get because we've already done it.
Here's an example of, you've got a printed part, you got the production part. The things are identical. Nothing changed. You know, it's funny, pick up my daughter from school or my son from school, and you'll see someone commuting on a bike, and it's like, oh yeah, I designed that. Or when Alberto Contador won the Tour de France, you know, he was wearing the Havocs I designed, and it's like, wow, you know, that's a pretty big accomplishment. And, you know, it really makes you feel good about what you do. It's very satisfying.